What's up, comic and pop culture fans? We are taking a break from talking about Superman and Spider Man today, and we are giving notice to comic books that have a lot of value that aren't DC or Marvel. Whether it be sci fi books, pre code horror, or other characters that just aren't associated with DC or Marvel, if it's not here, educate each other, pop it in the comments down below. And consider joining up by making this the full-time job so that $1.99 a month membership where you get early videos, perks, members-only polls, and so much more goes a long way. I will say, just a matter of business, I did see that Capcan Comics, who I bought a couple comics from in the past, did get burglarized sometime earlier this week. So if you want to head over to their Instagram, I saw Comic Tom also made a post about it. Notify Capcan Comics, and hopefully we can get those thieves caught. Just a helpful reminder to have security cameras, have insurance, and maybe a little extra home protection. In no particular order, in fact, I just decided to make it alphabetical. We have Amazing Man Comics, number 22, which is a classic Hitler cover. You hear the term classic Hitler cover, just like you hear the term classic gorilla cover, classic good girl cover. You'll hear certain phrases like that a lot. A classic Hitler cover is what it sounds like, usually some sort of propaganda beating up against Hitler. Its highest sale to date was a CGC 7.5 that sold for $69,000. Not bad. And how about that first appearance of the Amazing Man? The highest sale of this was a CGC 9.4. And it was $63,250. Interesting that Amazing Man Comics 22 was more for that. Archie Comics, number 1. This isn't the first appearance of Archie, but it is his first solo title. It has a CGC 8.5 is the highest one ever sold, which was $167,300. Whoo! Archie's doing just fine. Black Cat Mystery number 50, recognizable pre-code horror right there. CGC 9.6 was the highest recorded sale at $72,000. Prime does not pay 24. You got a CGC 9.4 at $102K. Not bad. And a 9.4 is pretty impressive. I will say a lot of this sales data, some of it's like 15 years old. So some of these high prices might be way higher today if they were within the last even 5 years. But some of these are pretty old. Daring Mystery Comics number 1, first series. We got a CGC that 9.2 that sold for $46,500. And Detective Comics number 1, I said I'd stay away from DC or Marvel, and this is quite literally DC. But because it wasn't superhero based, I thought I'd break my rule and pop it on here. Highest recorded sale I was able to find was a CGC 5.0, which sold for $108K. How about Eerie, number 1? There was a 9.0 that sold for $90,000 and is accepting offers currently for more. That's the first horror comic. How about Famous Funnies number 1? Pretty iconic there. I was able to find a CGC 5.5 that sold for $27,600. I couldn't find anything higher, but that doesn't mean that's not out there. Fantastic Comics number 1, first in series, first appearance of Samson. 66 grand for an actual 9.8. A 9.8? You did hear that right, yes. How about Fantastic Comics number 3, classic robot cover by Lou Fine. 9.4, sold for $243K. $250,000. No problem. 4-color 386 is the first dedicated Uncle Scrooge story and cover. There was a 9.6 CGC that sold for $26,290. Not bad, Uncle Scrooge. And then we got 4-color volume 1, issue 16, which is a super rare Mickey Mouse cover and classic story. Well, a 9.2, I'm amazed that that even exists, sold for $78K. How about Mad Comics number 1? Before it was a magazine, it had a brief stint as a comic format. It's the first Mad issue ever, and there was a 9.8 that sold for $32,200. Again, some of these sales are very, very old, so it could be a hell of a lot more currently. How about Menace number 5, which is the first appearance of the zombie, like zombies. Yeah, pretty crazy. CGC 8.5 puts it at 15,600 bucks as the highest sale I was able to find. Mystic Comics #1, first Flexone Blue Blaze 9.2, 25,444 bucks. Pep Comics 34 classic World War II cover. We got a 9.2 selling for $57,360. Pep Comics 22 sold at a CGC 8.0 for $252,100. Again with the $250,000. Phantom Lady 17, classic gorgeous cover here. CGC 9.6. Literally pretty much $500,000, $456K. Not Superman, not Spider-Man. Planet Comics #1, classic sci-fi series debut issue, CGC 9.4 at $90,500. Punch Comics 12, it's a classic skull cover. Pre-code horror fans love that one. CGC 7.5 is the highest I was able to find at $28,680. How about Red Raven Comics #1 has a CGC 9.0 that reached $74,688. Richie Rich #1, which is the first solo Richie Rich story there, and title and cover. CGC 9.6 has the highest sale I was able to find at $48,995. Seven Seas Comics #6, classic Matt Baker. We got a CGC 9.4, which reached $25K. Star Trek Gold Key Publications issue #1 had a 9.6 sale that went for $45,600. That's one I am on the lookout for. Startling Comics issue 49, we got a CGC 9.6 at $132K. Walt Disney's Comics and Stories #1, that's that great Donald Duck cover, $116,513 at a CGC 9.4. And like so many of these, this was not a particularly recent sale. War Against Crime 10, which is the first appearance of the Old Witch, as well as the whole Vault of Horror thing. $16,800, and that was actually a 9.8. Fun fact, there is actually a 9.9 of that book. I don't know who has that, but that is some serious gold. Weird Mysteries #5, which is that great, awesome pre-code horror brain removal cover. CGC 8.0 sold for $17,925. That's one I want too, but at those prices for the high grade, forget it. I'll take a beat up 1.0. Happily. Last one I'm going to give you here, kind of random one to end with, but again, these were alphabetical. Witch Tales #25. I love this one because it's this ridiculously classic, graphic, really graphic, severed head cover from the 50s. $9,500 was the high that I was able to find, which was a CGC 8.5. My friends, what did I miss? I know I definitely missed a lot of sci-fi. I missed a lot of Western. There's tons of 4-color ones that I didn't mention. For example, 4-color Volume 1 #1. What did I miss? Pop it in the comments down below. It's not all about superheroes. It's not all about you, Batman. As always, collect what you want to collect, read what you love, and keep on hunting.